Are you going to do the countdown and then we'll go straight into this hit and then start the show?
What?
I'm going to share it real quick.
What? What are you talking about?
Great minds, man.
Did you share it?
1 second. I just got to it. I'm better at sharing this now.
Well, it doesn't help that they change the share button every week.
Dude, they seriously they make it so fucking hard.
Excuse me?
They make it so hard.
Crazy.
Yes, Daddy.
Okay, I'm sharing it also. I've also shared it.
We have shared.
I actually found out how to do it really easy. There's like a much easier way. Jesus.
Dude, what do you... So, he's got...
It's the sports program on TSPN with Derek, Zach, and Sean, who's been here the whole time. Head over to timespentpoorly.com and give the show a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and help move this show into more people's suggested lists. This show is also streamed live on many platforms, including YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope. Follow and subscribe so you don't miss out on an opportunity to chat in and give the guys a piece of your mind during the broadcast. Want to support the show? Great! Go to patreon.com/timespentpoorly to see how you can do that. And now it's my pleasure to bring you the hosts of the sports program on TSPN, Derek, Zach, and Sean.
That destroyed me.
What is this clip? What's this clip from again?
Okay, so this is game 1, round 2, Canadians versus the Jets. It was, obviously you can see the end of the game.
Okay.
The Jets are trying to come back. They actually just scored before this too.
Okay.
Goalies pulled. They just scored because they were down 4-2, and the puck gets loose. The dude's trying to stop him from scoring, and it's just crazy, dude.
Jeez.
So you when you see it slowed down and from a different angle, it actually doesn't. It's not as bad as it seems. And
so this is the bad angle.
So this is the bad angle.
Okay.
And you can just see that he hits him right in that knockout spot.
In the jejunum.
Yeah. And had this dude got up and just celebrated the goal, this wouldn't even be a conversation,
How long was he down?
No, he got stretchered out. He's knocked out cold.
Jesus.
I would have puked. I would have got up and puked.
But this is what the guy says after it.
But the league's going to take care of it, and if he gets back in the series, we're going to make his life miserable. But I think
So they're like, if he comes back in, they're gonna gun for him. So, and he's like one of their. Well, he's suspended 4 games, so if they take it, to game 7, he'll which they probably will. They're both really good teams, but yeah, so
that's your guy.
I was confused. Hold on, I was confused. I thought this is the guy that made the hit.
No, this was
was saying that the dude that got hit, if he comes back in again, they'll make his life hell. I'm like,
no, yeah.
What did already made him drink 2 straws for the rest of his life?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What did he fuck his wife? What did he do?
He's like, sorry, that's just Canadian code.
Yeah, so it is the team I'm rooting for. I don't know how to stop sharing. Oh yeah, I do. That is the team I'm rooting for.
Did you like the
Oh,
hit
dude,
then?
I was like. So here's the thing too. If you see it at a different angle, you can see that he does put his skates into like more of a slowing down motion. He wanted to get the hit, but
So he's just that kid from the Mighty Ducks who can't stop.
yeah. If you see where his stick is, he probably could have just hit the puck away with the stick. But maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was all just like, "Oh, I'm just going to hit him and stop it." I don't know. Maybe he was like, "Yeah, I want to fucking hurt him." I don't know.
Maybe
Scheifele doesn't. Scheifele doesn't have a history of anything like this.
Maybe he didn't mean to hit him as hard.
Yeah. Well, they're both. He's going full speed. You know, that other dude whipped around like.
It can be an accident, man. Like I guess what you would compare it to for someone who like doesn't watch hockey is someone who calls a fair catch on a punt return and like still gets just laid out. Sometimes like the guy's just adrenaline's pumping. He might have seen the hand go up, but his brain might not have processed it right.
Yeah.
And he's just thinking, hit this dude. And it does happen. And even growing up like playing football, you've seen people do it that aren't ill-intended people, right? Like you're like, and then he goes to the sideline. His own coach chews him out, tells him he's a piece of shit. He feels bad. He probably cries for a minute, and then
because he's in high school.
And then a year later, he does it again.
Yeah,
and then that gets drinking through a straw for the rest of his life. He's like, "That's good soup."
He becomes Simple Jack from Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
You just can't. That's career suicide, man.
Yep. He won't say it, but we know.
He's like, "Mom, more soup," and she's like, "I was gonna bring you more soup. It's all you can have."
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna bring you steak because you can only have soup now. So
well, you could puree the steak, couldn't you?
You can puree it, sure. Got a nice Ninja. Yeah. You can put it through there. You can put it through a nice juicer in case you.
I mean, luckily, I love broth, so
So getting laid out and drinking
would be fine for you.
Jaws wired shut after I've been tackled 7 weeks in a row. I'll be fine.
My buddy Clint got punched in the mouth by a defensive tackle at WSU, and he had his mouth wired shut. It's a great way to lose weight. That's all I got to say about it. It's
go.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a great way to lose weight. Yeah.
I'm on board. My next thing was a tapeworm, but this sounds better.
Dude, if you really want to cut some LBs, a little bit of both.
I'm ready to cut the pounds, dude.
You go in there, your mouth is completely fine, and you're like, I would like one mouth wire, please, and a tapeworm. Can you just pop it in and then wire me shut?
Pop it in, wire me shut.
Well, so with the tapeworm
in there.
With a tapeworm, if you like keep a string on it and put it in there, let it do its thing, and then can you pull it out?
All you have to do is this is what you do is you eat the tapeworm, let it do its thing for a few weeks or months or whatever. Then you take a medicine and it dies.
Okay. So my idea wasn't the best.
It might have worked.
Yeah, I honestly think that you can just like dangle a banana over your mouth and it'll try to come out and get it. So eventually you'll see it, and then when it peeps out, when it pops its head out, you grab it and then grab it.
I hope
and then you do the magician.
I hope it looks like the creature from The Thing with Kurt Russell.
Oh yeah, it's identical to that. Yeah. The dog one though.
Yeah, the dog
one.
Yeah, the dog head one. The most famous of all the extremely disturbing creatures that'll haunt the rest of your life.
Speaking of haunting the rest of our lives, now that none of our teams are in the NBA playoffs whatsoever, is it even interesting anymore?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Derek.
Great transition.
I want to not root for Brooklyn, but it's kind of hard because every time you watch Kevin Durant play basketball, it's entrancing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're watching the best basketball player in the world when healthy.
I hate Kyrie Irving. I really do. I fucking hate him. I wish that water bottle would have hit him in his stupid fucking face.
I've decided.
He didn't win you over this year. He kind of won me over this year.
I have decided.
No, go ahead, Derek.
I've decided that I do not hate Kyrie Irving this year.
That's where I'm at. I do not hate him. I have no reason to.
First off, one of his points that he won me over with was doing that that Vimeo message or whatever for the boys basketball team here at Lapway. So that's cool. Also,
that is really cool, actually. All right,
so that's cool. And then also, I respect how good he is. He is so good.
Do you think he's better than the other two big stars?
No, but go ahead, Derek.
I don't know. I mean, maybe in different ways. Honestly, Kyrie's the one that I forget about how good he is until I watch him play again, and I'm like, wow, he's really good.
I liked him in Cleveland.
Yeah. Well, so that's the thing is Cleveland, LeBron was prime LeBron. So even though he did a lot to win games for them, it was still LeBron's team. The Celtics were his team, but he was hurt all the time or a part of some controversy of him complaining or didn't want to be the leader, even though he asked to be traded to go be the leader somewhere. And then he went to Brooklyn, and it's Kevin Durant's team. But when you watch, and now James Harden's like a
yeah. What is James in this? That's my question.
He's the MVP of the league. If he would have been healthy this whole year and on that team, he is the MVP of the National Basketball League, even over Kevin Durant. That's who he is now. But Kyrie Irving is the best handler of the basketball, not just in the NBA currently, but in the history of the NBA. That's who Kyrie Irving is. Yeah. The best guy to ever dribble a basketball, period.
He's genuinely entertaining to watch while dribbling the ball down the court.
There's Damian Lillard for a point guard. There's Steph Curry for a point guard. Maybe definitely better scorers than him overall.
Yeah.
But and Steph Curry has some of the best handles I've ever seen too. They might be 1 and 1A, but I think he's 1. I think he is the best. So I think that's where he fits. He's fun to watch. If you're talking about reasons to like Brooklyn, out of all these super teams that have ever been created, this is the most fun to watch.
Yeah.
And they don't play defense, which is they play a little bit now, which makes them even more fun to watch because the other team's almost always in it anyway. So they're going to win, but they played so little of defense that even if you like the other team, they're going to be in the game. It's not going to be a blowout.
Well, it's like, if you can score, like, why waste so much energy on the defense if you know that you can outscore the other team?
Exactly. The team with the most points wins. So
exactly.
That's
like some teams have to play. Some teams have to play defense. You know what I mean?
Also, a special little.
But you don't like hero ball, you know?
I like hero ball.
I joined on the bandwagon with Coach Steve Nash also, which I am. If they do in fact win it all, I am excited that Steve Nash would finally have a ring.
Yeah,
he's got to get it somehow, honestly, and you know that's why he did it.
I think they're going to go all the way.
I do too. I do think I think with now, man, it was almost my favorite. It was almost my nightmare / dream as if we would have had Nets and Blazers.
Right.
That's the dream.
It would be awesome. But I do feel like they could beat any of the teams in the West now. They can beat them.
Yeah, so there's two big things, I think, right? So tonight, Milwaukee, the series with Milwaukee starts with them. Whoever wins that could sweep whoever wins the West, I think. Yeah. And I'm not guaranteeing the Nets beat Milwaukee. I know you said lock or they're going to win it. I think they're my favorite to win it, but I think whoever wins the series is my favorite to win it.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about it before the show, but think about the 4 teams in the West. Well, we don't know for sure the 4 teams in the West, right? Because the Clippers Mavericks is still going on.
So you could still say the 5 teams in the West.
But even if we looked at the 5 teams in the West, I think between the 5 there are 0 combined championships in the history of those organizations. Yeah. So the most prestigious team left is the Utah Jazz. The team with the most enriched history is the Utah Jazz. Nuggets looked pretty good in the Portland series, but they still don't have Murray. I think that only holds up for maybe one more round. Like last year, they had those 2 crazy 3-1 comebacks, but it fizzled out eventually. I think the Jazz don't fizzle out in the West, but I don't think the Jazz match up at all against Brooklyn. At all. Do not like that for them. Suns, just because of Chris Paul and Devin Booker, maybe. I mean, they have a lot of great role players, but I think they're gritty enough to win some games against Brooklyn. And then if the Mavericks beat the Clippers, which they won't, they're not going to. Clippers will win that. Mavericks don't win a game against Milwaukee, or I don't think they win a game. I think they get swept against Milwaukee or Brooklyn. So it's an interesting dynamic. I think the team that could compete with the East the most is the Clippers, simply because of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. And Reggie Jackson, by the way, looked outstanding last night, but they play defense. That was a low scoring, 96, 95 type of game. Like they held, to 95 points. They held the Mavericks to 95 points. Great 3-point shooting team.
When I was switching from the Jets Canadians game to the Avalanche Golden Knights game, I looked at the score and it was like 45-43 or something. I think right before halftime or something.
They have so much flexibility. You can put Kawhi on Harden or Durant. You can switch them because Paul George can guard both of those guys too. You can switch them because Morris can guard Durant. Like, you have a lot of flexibility. And then you have guys to annoy Kyrie. You have a Rondo. You have a Reggie Jackson. You have Patrick Beverly. You have guys who will go annoy Kyrie. They won't stop him, but they're annoying defenders. They're pesky, right?
Yeah.
So that's the series I hope to see. I'm going to force it on you guys for the rest of the playoffs. I want Clippers and I want Nets because I think they're the two most talented teams. That's what I want to see.
I think you just really miss Kawhi, man.
I'm like the guy who's just never fully over his ex.
Do you guys remember the crazy year where the Atlanta Hawks not only went to the playoffs, but then won the first round against the Knicks?
Yeah, do you remember that?
Also in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Knicks were.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the East has started
crazy
interesting.
year of basketball.
But what do you guys think about that series? Because I don't think Joel Embiid's back for at least a couple games.
Oh, I think Atlanta wins this. I
do
genuinely think Atlanta can win it.
After watching, because I watched some of those games. Trae Young, man.
I think if Joel Embiid's back for at least game 2 or game 3, I still think the 76ers win it. I don't think you guys are giving enough credit to what Doc Rivers has done with that team.
True.
Tobias Harris looks like the guy that they traded for. Finally.
Yeah.
He is a bona fide second scorer. Simmons has officially accepted his role as not the number 2 scorer. The dude is Ben Simmons can guard any single player on the Nets, period. Not slow them down, not slightly stifle them. He can guard them straight up. He is not Kawhi, not Paul George. He is the best defensive player left in the playoffs, Ben Simmons.
I thought, what's his name?
Over anybody.
I thought Milwaukee's guy was pretty good. Janice?
Papa John's, better
Jonas?
ingredients, better pizza.
Wasn't he pretty? He's pretty good. D, right?
He's not fucking Ben Simmons good. Nobody is. What I'm saying is nobody is.
Nobody.
No, it's him and everybody else. The thing about Kawhi is, it's beautiful. I miss him. But he's
not a good looking dude. You can't say he's beautiful on the inside.
His game is beautiful.
His hands are gross.
His hands are hot boy summer. His hands are a 12 or a White Claw and poolside convos with your boys. That's his hands. His hands are the closest.
So this is what we do. We get
his hands are church.
I want to get a cardboard cutout of Kawhi with him holding his hands like this, holding them out. And I want to get a little kiddie pool and swim with you guys at my new house.
I thought you were gonna say set it next to my bedside and tell me it doesn't give me nightmares if I wake up in the middle.
You said you wanted to drink White Claws with Kawhi with the boys at the pool.
I would. Look at you. Can you imagine how small a 12-ounce White Claw would be?
This is the closest
sweet hands.
This is the closest we can get.
The
cardboard cutout.
I just want him to hold me like a baby.
I actually just want to hang out in a kiddie pool with you guys.
Yeah, I actually don't care about this made up
scenario. You know the new Twitch thing where girls are just chilling in pools in their house streaming. We should do a show. We should do a show from a kiddie pool. All three of us in a kiddie pool.
Oh, we should do the show. We should do the next time we're all together. We should do a show at Derek's house in the kiddie pool,
Yeah.
fully mic'd up.
Yep.
So my
During winter.
father-in-law- my father-in-law has this black, like outside, it's this black kind of pool. It might have been honestly like a pond, but he just uses it just for him. He fills it up with water. He sits in it like in the summer to keep cool. And I was like, I almost want one.
No, you want one. You got to have it.
No,
I do want one.
Yeah, you do want one.
It's just a one person. You just sit in it for being cool. And I was like, I want one.
Oh, hi.
Guys.
What up?
Oh,
Just FYI.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
We're almost done though, right? Are we short show?
Dude,
we
I
can
don't
send
know.
it. So just but let's emphasize a few things.
Mhm.
Let's hit some Sparks notes real quick. Kawhi's hands are gorgeous. You're wrong.
Yeah.
He's probably the next best thing to Ben Simmons as a capable defender, but dude has to do way too much on offense to play both. Like, you can't have your leading scorer also be your best defensive player. LeBron used to have to do that, and that's why he had to join a big three. You guys think Atlanta beats 76ers? I don't.
I want them to.
We all think the Nets beat Milwaukee?
Yeah.
I'm changing my mind. I'm taking Milwaukee. Just to be the opposite of you guys on every one
I'm
of these
going with the
things.
Nets. I bandwagoned with the Nets at the beginning of the year, so I'm at least going to ride the bandwagon out. Just going
Who
with it.
wins
As long
the
as
West?
Steve Nash is Coach Steve Nash.
Who wins the West?
Yeah. Who does?
So I tend to think that I tend to go in the same direction as you. If the Clippers beat the Mavericks, I think the Clippers win the West. If it's not the Clippers, it's the Jazz. Probably the Jazz.
Okay, yeah. I think that's accurate. They look pretty unbeatable right now.
It's not Denver.
That's not Denver.
And
Maybe it's Phoenix.
You know what? I'll tell you what. If it is Phoenix, I would root for them a little bit, just because
It's
how cool.
It's
Like,
hard-
I mean, what a crazy story.
yeah. Chris Paul finally gets his championship too at like 37. And
He'd retire if he got it.
but it's just hard to say. Well, he wants a contract extension right now. He's talking 3 years. It's hard to say how good they are because the Lakers were hurt the whole series. And the only 2 games the Lakers like had every player, the Lakers won, right? That's what's really hard about it. You're muted, Sean.
Sorry, I was typing something. I didn't want my typing fingers to get heard. It hurts. It hurts real bad. I know that like Booker was going off, especially in that last game. Like he could not miss.
It's
But-
just too much for just LeBron. It's too much.
Yeah, and it just sucks because they I don't know.
Still
And like last year, you said last year doesn't count. So
But it does, man. You'll always have that in your heart and your soul. I don't think it counts personally, but
So I think the bubble. I think these guys are missing the bubble after all this popcorn
You know who's-
throwing, water bottle.
oh god, man, yeah, they probably want to go back. Not only that, but Rondo could hit threes in the bubble for the only time in his career.
Yeah.
He shot a 3 for the Clippers last night, and the thing barely hit the front of the rim. And I'm like, this is what fans do.
Yeah, this is the guy that gave Kawhi the stank eye for missing the 3. I
But
sent you that clip, right?
Yeah, that is crazy. Like, oh, your best player missed a shot, Rondo. Why don't you take it? It's like,
Yeah.
get the fuck out of here.
Well, that's the thing. When Rondo was young and playing for Boston, he was.
But he didn't shoot threes. No, he didn't shoot threes.
Did he?
He
not?
was no. That was his hole. He was a true like passing defensive point guard who got a lot of really nice layups and a lot of really big moments when you could still be like a Tony Parker and take it to the rim. But the 3 ball was always a hole. That's why I'm saying the bubble was good for him because it was the highest percentage he ever shot.
I just feel like when the Lakers played them in the playoffs, I feel like he was. I don't know. I was drunk a lot, so who knows?
So yeah, I personally think the Clippers win the West. So that's my thing. It's Clippers and whoever wins the Nets Milwaukee series. That's where I'm at. We lost Derek.
No.
And he's back. He's gonna do magic, and then he's gonna come back again, and she's gonna be gone.
So,
Or she's just gonna be doing the show, and he's gone.
Oh yeah, one of the two. I hope Utah or no, I don't hope Utah.
You
Fuck
don't hope Utah anything.
I want everyone that likes Utah to be sad.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I don't know. Like, who do you?
Whatever.
The Clippers. I don't care. Fuck it. Who cares?
You know, if I had to say the team, obviously
Hockey's
I'm gonna,
on, man.
76ers. Yeah, go watch hockey, man.
I will.
Go watch hockey. I'm really rooting for the 76ers.
We can't make barbecue, babe.
Why?
We're gonna have to have some day.
I want barbecue.
Today?
That's today, yeah.
There's a situation. All right, so you're
Just
not
keep going.
you're not paying attention to hockey at all.
No, the Penguins are out, man. I'm done. And honestly, after the Dodgers just dismantled the Braves pitching,
I actually forgot to check that score.
it was so the last time I watched the game, it was 1-0 Braves in the fourth. And then I checked again and it was like 8-1. And I'm like, wow, this is exactly what our pitching does basically every game. This is also what the Dodgers do to everyone. Like,
Did you see that grand slam that Bellinger got 2 nights ago?
That's the thing, man. Withstanding their offense, it's just a matter of like when, you know?
Yeah.
Not if. Every
Not
game is
if,
just a
when.
matter of when their offense decides to. And that's crazy because pitching's crazy this year, but doesn't
Yeah.
affect the Dodgers.
The people that were on base for that grand slam were Mookie Betts, Justin Turner, and someone else.
Yeah, think
So,
about the firepower that he hit in.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
and everything's restored. All order is restored to the universe. Everything is going to be fine.
Mariners are
But
losing.
the Mariners are under 500 again. It's getting close to All-Star Weekend, and they suck, and this feels right.
Everything is exactly the same as it's always been, and it
always
always
been.
will be.
Things let me feel optimistic in March and April for a little bit, and I was like, wow, what a team. This could be a crazy team, huh? What a run they're making. And now they suck, just the same as it's always been.
You
Your
hear that?
seasonal depression always kicks in the summer.
You hear that, Andy
the
King?
winner.
You hear that, Andy King? Andrew?
It's the same as it's always been. They've always been shitty, and that's the way it's always been.
And Sean's always been here.
And Sean's
I'm
always
in
been
the logo, dude. It's
It's
real.
never been different.
I'm gonna
I-
get Bree to tattoo that on me when I'm in town. The logo.
I dare. I'll do it. I'm not.
No, you
scared.
won't. None of us will.
I will.
Getting
I will, dude.
Okay. Well,
I'll
then
get you
maybe I will.
guys' faces tattooed in me, but they have to be drawn a fresh drawing.
Look at this thing, dude. You think I'm scared? Look at that.
Is that just a coat on a hanger?
That's a coat on a coat hanger, dude.
Why? Why though?
You think I'm scared?
Why do you have that?
I'll get your faces on me.
Why do you have that?
We
Don't-
can't end the show till you tell us.
Don't go to Vegas.
Okay.
Don't go to Vegas. Don't pay $250 for a tattoo.
Okay.
Were you drunk?
I had to. So I was kind of a broke piece of shit and I had a credit card. I had to call my roommate, have him log online and transfer money from my transfer credit card cash to my checking to get a 200. So it's a $50 tattoo, but it was $200 for the spot because it was the tattoo shop right behind the House of Blues in Las Vegas.
Wow.
I met
But
Mark
why?
McGrath
Like-
from Sugar Ray though.
Is that why you got it? You mean
No,
Ethan?
no, I was
Did
going
you
in there.
call Mark McGrath sugar gay? Are you the kid in that video?
Yeah, were you? Yeah.
No, I saw him. I go, that's fucking Mark McGrath.
Are you
Dude.
sure it wasn't Ethan Hawke?
No, it was. They're the same guy.
They're the same guy.
I go, dude. Are you who I think you are? And he goes,
Yeah, Ethan Hawke.
no. He goes, I don't know. Do you hate me? And I go, no. And he goes, yeah, I'm him.
I've heard he's funny.
I don't know. Do you hate me?
Yeah.
I've heard he's funny.
He was like drinking like vodka in a Gatorade bottle. Like he's Mark McGrath and he has vodka in a Gatorade.
But doesn't
bottle.
that sound super on brand? Actually,
Sounds
Yeah,
perfect.
I mean, they weren't like the biggest '90s band, so yeah,
Was he listening to Smash
his own
Mouth?
music.
Yeah, yeah.
His own
No, he was lit. He was listening to lit.
He was listening
to Lit. Of
He doesn't
course.
like
No,
Smash.
he's-
He doesn't like
he-
Smash Mouth.
He's a truly madly deeply guy.
He's never been a big mouther. That's the
Yeah.
name of the Smash Mouth fans. Mouther.
Are they
Mouth
called
breathers.
mouthers? They are. You should use that in your stand-up.
Mouth breathers. They're
He's a
mouth
big mad
breathers.
breather.
He's not a big mouther, but he's a real big lit head. You know,
He's a lit head. He
Real
He
lit
also
head.
loves the song "Teenage Dirtbag."
He also, yeah.
By
He's
the
also
way-
a huge Wheatus fan. And by Wheatus fan, I mean that one song by Wheatus. He is a huge fan of it.
Yeah, he likes Natalie and Brulia for sure.
He's
Keep going. Keep going. You guys go.
huge fan of that Truly Madly Deeply. I wanted to parrot on that. I want
He's
to
The Savage Garden,
thank you, Savage Garden,
or
Love
who
it.
sings One Headlight?
Wallflower. Oh, no, no,
Wallflowers. Yeah, Wallflowers. It's Wallflowers.
Jake Dill. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's Jake Dillon.
Jake Dillon,
He's
though.
a huge Jake Dillon fan, isn't he?
I actually bet they're pretty good homies. They're probably pretty good friends.
They probably are planning a tour next summer.
They actually know. So Matchbox 20 and right
Yep.
before COVID started, Matchbox 20 and Wallflowers had a tour lined up. And
He's
it was
a-
going to come to Boise, and you know I was going to be there, baby.
He's,
Goo Goo
he's a-
Dolls.
He's a big Toad the Wet Sprocket fan.
Yeah, who isn't?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Everyone, Toadstools. That's their fans.
God damn.
I just pulled up my 90s gold playlist and there's not much on here. Some Boys to Men.
So
Sugar Ray song.
I'll send you mine. I'll send you my playlist.
There you go, Mark.
Shout out
This is
to Mark.
That's the best song.
Huge fan of the show. Which one is it?
Answer the Phone. Off their self-titled album. Answer the phone. I know that you're home. I want to
heard
get you. What?
I don't know any of the deep cuts, man.
Oh man, let me send you this deep cut.
It must be a
V-
B-side, huh?
I'll send it to you.
Must be song number 8 on the album. That's always the song no one's ever heard.
I'll send it to via link in our very private Facebook chat with each other.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's a
Definitely not as a banner.
There you go.
a solid spot to end the show.
All right.
See you, Mark.
I love you all. I love you, Mark McGrath. You guys have a great weekend.
Enjoy the sports.
Enjoy sports. Go Wildcats. Go Warriors.
Go Warriors, man. World Series, right?
Well, serious Dave did lose
NIAIA.
out. They finally
Oh.
did lose out.
Oh, did they? So
don't-
Yeah, Georgia Gwinnett ended up winning that. But
Good.
they did good. I mean, they were in the losers bracket and they played back to the semifinals.
That's awesome.
Pretty good.
Classic stuff.
All right, you boys. I love you
Go
guys.
Warriors.